Welcome to the On Purpose podcast, where together we will learn from personal stories and explore thought-provoking topics, all with one goal in mind: living a more purposeful life. Welcome, everybody, to episode 197 of the On Purpose podcast. It's always an honor to be here with you, and I got to tell you, I'm excited to be talking to you in March, and hopefully it's starting to be spring wherever you are, and the season of rebirth. I love spring. It's one of my favorite times of the year, and man, I just try to get through winter to enjoy spring, to be honest. So I hope it's going well where you are, and that this reaches you at a time of rebirth and growth, and that you're open to the lesson we have this week. I'm excited to share the topic with you, but before we do, I got to remind you and ask you to please do your part in helping us grow and spread the word of the On Purpose podcast and the community we are building. You can do that through liking, sharing, subscribing on your favorite podcast app. We are on all of them. And if you want to go further, join us on Patreon, where your monthly membership is what financially continues to push us forward and help us build towards becoming the most impactful podcast in the world. That's what we're after. We're after creating positive impact for people all over the world through storytelling, thought-provoking topics, and just discussions and ideas that challenge the status quo and empower us to realize we are truly in charge of our own lives. The happiness, the joy that comes with them is really up to us, that it's all around us if we choose to see it. And I want to thank our Patreon members that are currently there, because without you guys, we couldn't do this, so thank you. All right, let's get to the topic this week. It's titled, Be Where You Are. Be where you are. Have you ever heard that exactly where you are is exact... Let me start there. I goofed that one up already. What kind of episode is this going to be, huh? Have you ever heard that where you are is exactly where you're supposed to be? Where you are is exactly where you're supposed to be. How many times have we heard that in our lives and thought, man, that's not true. That's BS. Why would I have to be here right now? Why do I need this problem in my life? Why do I need this struggle? Why does my life seem to be like I'm riding out the highs and lows that keep coming at me like ocean tides? Why me? Why now? Right? These are all statements that I think every one of us could say we've all felt and said to ourselves, maybe said to others at times. Maybe we even wished that they wouldn't happen to us. We wished we could just be somewhere else, anywhere else. That we could be maybe somebody else. If only I was that person, I wouldn't have to face this situation, this problem. If only I lived here, I wouldn't have this to deal with. Right? Sometimes we find ourselves wishing we weren't where we were, trying to be something different. But what would happen if those came true? Right? What if wishing away problems? What if wishing ourselves to different places to not have to face our struggles was cheating us from learning the lessons we're meant to learn? That these moments, all these exactly right here, right now situations in our lives can't possibly all be accidental, can they? Surely it's far too much coincidence to look at our lives and not see how much of our past, and in turn our future, seems to have been destined for us in these moments that occur right now. These are the learning moments in our life, the times that we should be embracing. Learning to smile through struggle, learning to laugh at a new problem that arises. Because there's so much joy in the process of living. Living isn't meant to be highlight reel. Living isn't meant to be smooth seas. It's meant to be rough at times. To force us to grow. To force us to learn. To force us to change, to adapt. What if we smiled and realized the joy in the process of the living? Think about this. If you could just wake up tomorrow, and that business you've been dreaming of starting up was already there. It was already in existence, and it was running. It was making 6 figures a year. Where would the satisfaction in that be? Where would the discipline you learned by struggling through the tough times, where would that have gone? What about this one? What about you're one of those people that's counting down the days until you can retire? The days until you can walk away from that job. What if you could just snap your fingers and you're retired? You're free to play golf, to travel, to do whatever else you say you're going to do when you retire in that magic moment. It's so important that you're counting down the days. What would happen to all those relationships? The water cooler conversations, the laughter from office pranks. What happens to those if you skip right by them just to get to the end of your career? Yet many of us live our lives this way. We live our days counting down the hours till I can leave the office today, the hours until this is over, the minutes until that's over, the days until this is over, the months until this. This constant thinking that when this happens, I can go do that. When that happens, I can go do this. These are all very, very dangerous statements. Dangerous statements to make to ourselves. Because as I'm planning, when this is over, I can do that. When that's over, I can do this. I'm not living in the present. I am robbing myself of the now. I'm stealing my attention, my focus, and love from the people and the moments that are happening right now in front of me at this exact moment. Most of us know, and we'll talk about this, and there's all kinds of memes and quotes on T-shirts and fancy posters around office buildings all over the world, reminding us of the importance of the present. Right? That yesterday's in the past, tomorrow's a gift, today is a present is one of the quotes I remember. But if we all know this, if we know our lives are truly made up of a series of nows, why are we spending so much time trying to either hold on to the past, who we used to be, what used to happen to us, or wanting to skip the now that's right here to get to the future? And a year for me, 2022, that had more personal loss than any year I've ever had in my life, I have a greater appreciation of the importance of the now. The subtleties of a loved one's smile, a small thank you for a kind gesture, a longer moment of silence in between responses to truly appreciate a conversation that's taking place, and the time that someone's willing to share with me from whatever else they could be doing in their lives. Tomorrow is going to come. For some of us, for others it won't. So why spend so much of today trying to catch tomorrow and missing out on all the beauty that is today? The beauty that could be your workplace. The beauty that is the relationships around you. The beauty that is nature. Wherever you're at, there's some form of nature around you. the conversations, the smiles, the random strangers that cross our paths right now? What if we quit looking past that to get to tomorrow and just instead focus on being where we are right now? Let's use the month of March, the spring season of rebirth, to slow ourselves down and appreciate all we have around us. The beauty of the budding flowers, the buzzing of the bees, the chirping of the birds, the smiles of loved ones, the dreams of possibilities of the youth in our life, the memories and reflections of our elders, and all the small moments that happen in between each and every day, the nows that make up the stories of our lives. This month, let's practice mentally, physically, and emotionally being where we are. And it starts right now. Thank you for joining me this week. I'm excited to follow your stories on social media, through email in the month of March, of how we're practicing being where we are, being present, and how that can bring us more joy in our life than maybe we knew was possible. Have a great rest of your week. And remember, team, life is far too short to live any other way than on purpose. We will see you all again next week.